Come on in, come on in. I am Judah Bernard with The Rise Creating Your Voice. And we are here with director Brandi Webb. If you don't have a way, you make a way. Brandi Webb went from a young girl dreaming about acting to actually writing, directing, and starring in plays and films. In 2005, Brandi Webb made her first debut as a playwright, producer, and director for her very own off-Broadway stage play, Yet to Involve in Times Square, New York City, the Big Apple. The play caught a lot of attention and press and was covered on the Bronx 12 News. Due to the success of Yet to Evolve, Brandi launched a theater company named after the play, which was Yet to Evolve Productions. Brandi Webb has been producing and directing for 15 years. As a producer, Brandi Webb is best recognized for her ability to obtain the seemingly unattainable. With an ambitious nature and an outside-of-the-box mentality. Sounds a lot like me. She specializes in getting a production, whatever it needs, regardless of how challenging the task is. Ms. Webb's production tasks are completed quickly, yet efficiently, and her professional manner holds her in an organized and reliable light. As a director, Brandi Webb is best known for having a good visual eye, which allows her to be great with blocking camera shots and angles and casting. She is exceptionally able to analyze and see what's necessary for bringing a vision to life and capturing it on stage as well as on camera. For Miss Webb, and I do apologize, professionalism is everything. The on-set experience she gained as an actor from childhood taught her common industry ethics such as the show must go on. Never be late or absent. Be prepared off book and respect your director. Have manifested into Brandi Webb's producing and directing career. Miss Webb believes professionalism sets the tone for how production will and shall turn out. Brandi Webb earned her bachelor's degree in theater arts and communication from Clark Atlanta University and her associate's in theater arts from Borough Manhattan Community College. May I introduce to some and present to others the director and co-producer of Betrayal of a Nation, an Indictment on America, Miss Brandi Webb.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Judah. You definitely, you definitely served right there. I appreciate that intro. I'm just super excited to be here. Thank you for having me on The Rise. I'm ready to just get down to the interview and answer these questions and answer the questions with whatever the people want to know. I'm ready.
Yes, and I want to thank you for agreeing to come on The Rise, Creating Your Voice. And I just want the listeners to know that we don't know each other. And that's the great thing about it. Nothing's rehearsed, nothing's scripted. This is first time knowing each other, first time meeting and everything. So we're going to go ahead and just start off with the questions. What enacted you to come about with the documentary of Betrayal of a Nation?
So back in 2016, we had the back-to-back murders, the police killings of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. And for me, that was a breaking point because we had already previously gone through the death of Eric Garner, and before that, Trayvon Martin and Tamir Rice. And it was just enough. It got to the point where enough was enough. And for us to be able to see on social media Philando Castile's death, that actually really did something to me. And it got to the point where I was just like, what can we do about it? And I was in my apartment with a friend who ended up becoming the co-writer of the treatment for betrayal of a nation. And we just started talking about how the government was to blame and how we needed to really figure out how do we hold the government accountable. And through that dialogue that we exchanged, we came up with, we need to put the government on trial. And from then on, we just continued to bounce ideas off of one another. And 2 weeks following that, we started booking the courtroom scenes. And at that time, we didn't even have a completed script, but we were like, we are ready to go into production and get this thing out. So.
And I know with some of the things that you did, I know you start casting and things like that. So how did you choose your cast? How did you do as a director of choosing the places to shoot at and things like that too as well?
So we chose the cast by holding traditional auditions. We also did some video submissions as well, which is something that in this our current day is pretty standard.
Yeah.
So we held auditions. We gave them the sides, which for those who don't know, audition sides are basically a piece of the script, so you can be able to get an idea of the character. The person auditioning can get an idea of the character that they have to convey. And so we held auditions, and we wanted to make sure that we picked people that could truly embody the characters that we had in mind. That was really important to us. And so I'm really happy and really pleased with the cast that we ended up with. I think that they are phenomenal. And I'm just really grateful for us to have the cast that we had. Yeah. And then when it comes to the locations, we knew that we needed a courtroom. So we started looking into courtrooms in New York City, which is where we're based. And so that was that. And then when it came to the documentary elements of it, because the courtroom is the scripted things, the trial. And then we have the documentary, the interviews, where we interview people outside of the courtroom. And for that, we ended up, we had a location where you'll see a lot of the interviews have a white background. We wanted something that was pretty neutral, kind of uniform, have some kind of uniformity to it. And then other than that, it was really important for us to just go wherever the subjects were. So one of my favorite experiences throughout this documentary was going to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to Black Wall Street. It's called the Greenwood District.
Yes.
And going out there and getting to interview people that are doing the work out there, that are residents as well, and a couple of them are descendants of residents that were in the Tulsa massacre. They say the Tulsa race riots, but we say it was a massacre. And two of those people are actually in the documentary as well. And so that was a great experience, getting to go there to interview people. And yeah, so we just that's pretty much how we chose our locations and everything.
That definitely sounds amazing, being that you have some good, it seems like you have some good footage there. I know people are just waiting to hear when it premieres and things like that. So tell us some of the things about the premiere and when it launches and things like that too as well, for those who need to know. I hear a date coming out, so go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, so So Betrayal of a Nation is premiering on February 26th.
Yes.
And I'm so excited because, Judah, this was a long 4-year journey.
Yes.
This started in 2016. And so I'm really excited to have it done and to be able to bring it to the people. We started out putting our own money up front into making this happen. And then the project was halted for a while because we ran out of funds, and we had to fundraise, and we had a whole GoFundMe campaign. And we were blessed to have people donate funds because they really wanted to see this project happen. And with that, we were able to complete this film. And here we are now in 2021, ready to show it to everyone. So February 26th is the premiere. Black History Month. We wanted to be able to shut the month down and end Black History Month, providing this knowledge. It's a lot of info, and we wanted people to walk away with the month, walk away with something, and we wanted them to walk away feeling like they gained some knowledge about maybe some things that they didn't know. And we wanted them to walk away feeling motivated and inspired, and even just questioning themselves, like, what is my part in the movement? Everybody has a role to play, whether you're a filmmaker, whether you're doing music or visual art for the movement and everything. So yes, February 26th, we are currently taking pre-orders right now. If you would like to get, if you choose to pre-order, there's a promo code. It is BON 2021. That will get you 15% off. And that is for pre-order sales. So, and that coupon expires on February 24th.
And where can they pre-order at? Is there a certain website or?
Yes, that is betrayalofanation.com. You see how easy that was? Betrayalofanation.com.
Go to betrayalofanation.com, and that will actually be put in the comment box right now, so people will know where to go. So, of interest, I know you're the director, so I have to ask, because there are a lot of isms and a lot of things that are going on while you're directing and being the co-producer. Now I have to go a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Tell us some feelings or some emotions that probably come up out of Brandi Webb. Let's forget about director and producer. Let's see how Brandi Webb felt about it.
About producing this film?
Yes.
So
now let's take producer and director. Let's talk to Brandi Webb.
Okay. So Brandi Webb, some emotions throughout the 4-year journey. Brandi Webb sacrificed a lot to produce this film. She sacrificed a social life, and she sacrificed a lot. Honestly, there wasn't a lot of quality time, I'll say, spent with loved ones as I would have liked to. And so that was an emotional part for me, because I delved so deep into the subject matter of the documentary that I really felt like I didn't exist outside of the documentary for a large portion of the 4 years. And so, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and that's being truthful, because that's the thing is, most people don't have, are able to express that. And, they feel that, that you guys keep moving outside of your feelings. And I think it's important to know that director and co-producer Brandi Webb is still Brandi Webb outside of that title. Absolutely. And, she's still human. She still has feelings. She still has to eat. So her life still goes on. And thank you for that. And thank you for your vulnerability too, as well as answering that question. So tell us some of the highlights that were as a director or co-producer of that too, as well, especially in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I've learned a lot about the Black Wall Street and all that stuff, and it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely one of the highlights, because I've heard for many years about Black Wall Street, but I never imagined that I would actually find myself there. And when I delve into this documentary, and when a press release went out back in 2018 about the film, and someone reached out to me, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, the twin sister of Terrence Crutcher, And she was like, I heard you are doing a documentary about my hometown. And she said, you can't talk about us without coming out here. And I was, yes, wow. And I was like, say no more, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And I came out there, and she showed me around. She introduced me to wonderful people. And so those relationships, from Black Wall Street, as well as throughout the entirety of the documentary, the relationships that I formed with individuals, for me, is a highlight. And being in Black Wall Street, just to be there on that soil, that historical soil where, our ancestors are still buried till this day. That just meant so much. And to see this area of what was once 35 square miles, to be on that soil and to say we had our own, yes. We had our own businesses, whether you were a dentist, whether, you had your own limousine service, we had it, we did it. And it was really inspiring for me. And it just made me feel like if we did it once, that's in our DNA. So
yes,
we could I'm sorry, can I say damn on here?
Yes, of course.
we could damn sure do it again.
Yes, we can.
So it was really inspiring for me. And I have to say that hands down is the number one highlight of this experience. So that, and then the wonderful relationships that I built with individuals that, became my friends as a result of this production.
Right. And I think for me, well, let me rephrase that, because I know in reading it, it said 18 crimes committed against Black, brown citizens. Why only 18?
So, well, it's still a film, and okay. The film was actually it's 2 hours already.
Right.
Okay, so we all know that this could go on. The list could go on and on. And
yes,
on.
It can. Yes, it can.
But we had to cap it somewhere, so
yes.
We tried to put the main ones.
Right. And
what we did was we took every subject that is discussed in the right. documentary. We said, what are charges that would fit the crime that was committed here?
Right.
And it came out to a total of 18.
Okay. Understood. Because I know there are so many other committed crimes, and we still have yet to, decipher between those crimes, but I know you probably categorize them into more conducive to look at that 2 hour window too as well. Now let's talk about that 6-part series that you're doing, and you just did some things with mass incarceration, and now you're having one on this Tuesday, which will be the 5th part of the series. Let's have some conversation about that, or dialogue about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started a 6-part series called Betrayal of a Nation. The Constitution is null and void. And, we're on part 5 right now. So we have one more part left of the series. And we wanted the series to lead up to the premiere of the film. So we have panelists coming on talking about all sorts of topics. And the topics all surround the documentary, the things that are discussed in the documentary. But the difference between the documentary itself and the panel discussions is that topics are broad, and so you can't discuss everything. So things that weren't discussed in the documentary, I decided to have discussed on the panels. And so we talked about the Tuskegee experiment, and we tied that into what's happening right now, the COVID-19 vaccine. Why is it that the Black community has such a mistrust of government? And so that was one of the panel discussions. And we talked about mass incarceration, which also is a broad topic, but we talked about the cash bail system, as well as what does cash bail reform look like right now, what's happening with it. Here in New York City, our Governor Cuomo tries to basically roll back cash bail. So that had, been an ongoing fight. And and then now we have police brutality coming up tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We usually go for about an hour long, so 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'm looking forward to it. And I will also post the flyer. I haven't posted it yet, but I will post it tonight on my Instagram page, which I'll give towards the end of the show when it's time to give social.
So make sure you, because it's good information. And I think, you know what, I need to stop saying I think. I know we need to have more conversation around this information because it's happening too infrequent. And where we're not having this conversation and where this conversation is not being in households. Just like Tide and many other household name brand things, this needs to be a brand that's going on and on and on and having this conversation. So the more it's talked about, the more people can understand that something needs to be done about it.
Absolutely.
So definitely start making this part of your conversation in your household because these are things we need to talk about. So we're going to go to the audience and actually see if anyone have any questions for our special guest, Director Brandi Webb. Any questions? And while they're waiting, I know you said that this took 4 years. So in this 4-year process, knowing that the baby is about to be birthed, how do you feel as a proud director, co-producer, and just this is about to be birthed, the Betrayal of a Nation, and it's coming to live form. What's this feeling like? What is this anticipation?
It feels super exciting. And I'm so excited. And I'm excited. It also feels surreal as well, because like I said, it was such a long journey. And there were times where I didn't know if this project would be finished or what it would even look like. Because the thing about doing documentaries is you go in with one mindset. You say, you have your whole treatment. You say, I want this to happen and then that to happen, right? But the documentary creates itself. You go in there with one direction and it'll take its own turn. And so that happened. And when I look at where things started and where they are now, I'm just like, wow, like, look at God, because I never could have told you in the very beginning that it was going to come out the way that it did, the way that because everything was compartmentalized, meaning the courtroom scripted scenes were filmed, in 1 year. Wow. And then the interviews were all filmed maybe 2 years later, right? And just seeing the way everything came together, and then we also ended up cutting things out. So seeing the final product, I'm just so amazed when I look at it. I'm really thrilled. I'm happy with the way everything came out, the look, the quality, the interviews were amazing. And so, this is my, baby, like you said, that I birthed. And I guess I'm just a proud mama. Like, I'm just super excited to share my work with everyone. And I also get emotional too at times, because I know what back to your question earlier, I know what Brandi went through putting this together. And when you're telling these stories, you have moments where you feel sometimes you're just down and out. Sometimes, there's depression because you're taking on these things and you're learning and you're getting upset all over again. And you're like, they did this to my people. They did this too. They did that too. We were oppressed by design, and the more you learn, the more infuriating it becomes. And it takes a personal toll. on the
Yes.
individual. And so I think about all of that, and I'm just like, but now we're here, and my journey is also captured in the documentary as well, which
Wow.
you know everyone will see. So you get to see that I'm learning with the audience, right? I have epiphanies throughout the documentary as well. So that was me being vulnerable and sharing a part of myself.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't want to just give people this knowledge and entertain people with courtroom scenes as well, but
Right.
I wanted to share my own journey of how this came to be and what I went through during different parts of the documentary. So I've incorporated that because I believe that I am the average person,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I feel like if they can see what I went through, because I know other people experience the same things that I've experienced, you know, especially when you're feeling like, dag, all these things are happening. I want to be involved, but I don't know what to do. So I'm a tweet about it, but then what am I gonna do?
Right. What's next? Right.
Right. What's next? And that was me. That's how I felt. And until I decided to do something, which for me, that was tell the story and make a film about it.
Right.
For someone else, that'll be something different. So I really wanted to inspire people by showing them my journey of what I went through, and that there were things that I learned. I didn't go into this documentary knowing everything about my history. I knew the gist of it. I knew things here and there, but I didn't know all the intricacies of the way the government, you know, involved themselves in our issues. And so I learned that throughout the process of the documentary. And so I feel like the viewer gets to learn and go on that journey with me.
I love it. I love it. Now we have questions. How do you feel that this documentary will be received by the Black and Brown audience?
I think that they are going to love it. I think that the Black and Brown audience, for them, Betrayal of a Nation it's a front row seat at having their pain acknowledged, right? And seeing what government accountability looks like, because we have yet to really see that in real life. And so when you're watching, you get to feel like, oh yeah, they did that to us. They did this to us too. But there's charges there. So you get to feel like, okay, there's something being done. And at least if we can't have that in real life yet, then let us have our movie, right? And sometimes, what's the saying? Art imitates life. And so maybe we'll see that in real life eventually. Maybe it'll spark something else. Who knows? But you got to start with the idea first, right?
Yes.
And see that something could be possible in order to move forward and plan and organize.
And the next question is, do you feel Betrayal of a Nation should be shown in schools?
Absolutely. This is definitely an educational piece. You know, I'm also, so I'm a director, but I moonlight as a substitute teacher. And so, I
like how you said that you moonlight.
Yes. And so I have worked with children from 3K all the way up to high school. And, you know, when I'm dealing with children, especially the older ones, I like to pick their brains and ask them questions like, so how do you feel about what's going on today? Or how do you feel about the recent shooting? And, you know, I want to make them think. And I want to know what they know and what they don't know. And a lot of them, the ones that I have questioned, they seem to have a really nonchalant demeanor or attitude towards the things that are happening. It's almost as if they just want to act as if it doesn't exist. And a lot of them don't know the history. You would be so surprised to see how many children do not understand history in America, which is Black history. But Black history is American history, right? And so I feel like the children, they need to learn this. They need to learn their history because, as cliche as it sounds, you don't know your future until you know your past. So you don't know where you're going until you understand where you came from. And so I definitely think this needs to be in schools. I feel like this is a project that can be used as a part of the curriculum for teachers that are teaching these things. And I think it could be in schools as well as universities.
And another question, will it go to TV? And when we purchase the film, what do we get?
Okay. So I would like to see it go to TV. At this time, the film will be premiering again February 26th. You can get it from the website. You can rent it, which is betrayalofanation.com. So right now, it's available for rent, again, on betrayalofanation.com. And what you're getting is you're being entertained. You're also gaining knowledge. And as I previously stated, you get to have a front row seat at having your pain acknowledged and seeing accountability in today's age where we are often dismissed for our hurt and our pain that we've endured. And we hear time and time again, people say to us like slavery doesn't exist anymore. Get over it. Stop being the angry Black woman or Black man and pick yourselves up by the boob strap. And time again, whenever something happens, we are always being dismissed. And so when you're watching Betrayal of a Nation, just know that you won't be feeling dismissed. You will be heard. So that's what you get. You get to be heard and you get to be entertained and you gain historical knowledge of American history, which is your history.
And one thing I'm going to say is to everyone, and I'm going to say this even on the podcast, well, it's going to be on the podcast because I'm not going to delete it, is let's sow a seed into Brandi's ministry. Whatever it costs, let's just sow a seed. Let's sow a seed. Let's all buy it. Let's not just buy for the family and we all rent and sit together. Let's all sow a seed. Because, I mean, it took 4 years for her to develop it. She had to go fund me. She had to do these things. Let's sow a seed. And that's what it's about, because I think it's a movement. You know what? I know it's a movement. And I know it's a ministry too as well. And this is a ministry that the conversation has already need to be had many moons ago when Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was doing the movement. Now he's no longer here. And now there's many other voices that's still trying to do the movement, as well as director Brandi Webb. So let's throw a seed into the ministry. We have another question. What rating would you give it?
I would give it a 5-star rating.
Yeah, how about that?
Absolutely. And you know, it's funny because so I've worked on this film, like I've had my hands in it in every inch, month after month after month after month, right? Because we're a small crew, so I had to wear many hats. I'm director Brandi Webb, but I'm also an independent filmmaker at heart, which means I get down to and dirty to do whatever the task is that's needed for the production.
Yes.
Right? Whether I'm my own office assistant, whether it's I'm doing the editing, all that, right? And so, and everything. So, the funny thing is that when you're in it day in and day out, you start to get tired of your own work because you're like, I done seen it so many times. So now I don't even know how other people are going to perceive it. And so I had to leave it alone for like 2 months. I hadn't looked at it. And then I said, okay, I need to watch it again. And so I sat back and I watched it with, as I say, fresh eyes. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God. Like I was so excited. And I was just like, wow, look at God. Like God, I have this thing where I don't feel like I do my work, meaning I feel like God does it.
Right.
I've always felt that way. I feel like I said, you go in thinking things are going to be one way, but they come out another way. And I always said, I feel like God uses us as the vessel.
Yes.
He channels me and he puts out the message that he wants to be put out. So as I was watching with fresh eyes, I just felt like this is incredible. And I called up my co-producer and I was just like, yeah, I just watched the documentary with fresh eyes. And I was just like, this, like, we really did a great thing. And she was like, yeah, we did. And I'm like, but we never celebrated the wins, as they say, celebrate your wins. We never took the time because we were so immersed in it that we never got to feel the joy of having finished this film. And so that was a moment for me to be able to say, like, wow, I'm feeling the joy now. Like we did a great thing. We set out to do it. It wasn't an easy journey, but we completed that.
Yes.
And now we just can't wait to share our 5-star documentary with the world.
Yes. So we have a twofold question. Number one, will it be able to be purchased, or you only have rent options?
So right now, it's just the option to rent. We hope that sometime in the future that we will be able to do DVD distribution for those that would like to own a copy or have like a collector's item that they have in their home with other collector's items. I myself, I like the Hidden Colors franchise. And so I feel like having a DVD would be great to have next to my Hidden Colors and my collection of other black black content DVDs. So hopefully in the future, but at this current time, renting is the only available option on the website, which again is betrayalofination.com.
And does it have a current rating? Is it PG or R or PG-13?
So yeah, it's PG-13.
Yes.
There is a little bit of cursing, and the content in there is it's deep. It's really deep. So I wouldn't recommend it for smaller children necessarily. So yeah, it's PG-13.
And we want to talk about the original images connected to the history of slavery and then indigenous experiences. So we want to talk about the artwork in the film too as well.
Yes. So I actually had works of art commissioned for this film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I found a few artists.
I got you, Rashida.
Yeah, Rashida actually purchased one of the pieces actually. Yes. And so hi Rashida. So she's making me talk about the artwork.
Yeah. She's making me want to go look at the film down and see if I want to purchase one.
Yes. And so as a director, I knew what the type of pieces that I wanted to convey. So I wrote out the imagery that I saw in my head. Now, I'm not a visual artist when it comes, I can't draw, I can't paint. I could do some stick figures, that's about it. And so I wrote out what I wanted to see. Mm-hmm. And I gave those descriptions to a few artists. And I said, hey, can you try to find something that embodies these descriptions? And the work that I got was really amazing. And, they helped to convey basically the storyline. So there's, I don't know if I should go into detail with describing the type of art, but I'll just say that they're really powerful pieces that depict our history.
All right. So I know people are waiting to hear your Instagram, your Facebook, your Betrayal of a Nation website. Tell them where they can actually find Director Brandi Webb. I am Brandi Webb on Instagram. Keep it going.
Yes. If you want to follow me directly, then it is I am Brandi Webb on Instagram, as well as Facebook. And if you want to follow the film, the documentary, which I highly recommend you do that, that would be Betrayal of a Nation. It's Betrayal of a Nation on Facebook, and it's the little @ symbol Betrayal of a Nation on Instagram. And again, the website is betrayalofanation.com, and that is where you can pre-order and rent your Betrayal of a Nation copy of the film. This was great, Judah. Thank you so much. Like I really enjoyed this interview.
No, are you going to have like a small little watch party, or are you going to have a premiere party or a premiere of the premiere, or?
Yeah, we're actually working on a cast and crew premiere at this time because we think that it's really important for those that were involved on the project.
Did that mean Judah get an invite?
Yeah, yes, Judah gets an invite. Yes. And so we're working on that. So it'll be a private premiere. But
I like private events.
And we're thinking about doing a watch party event where since it launches on the 26th, that weekend, we may have like a Zoom event or something, maybe a Facebook Live, where it'll probably be Zoom, so there could be engagement, and
yes.
People could just say what they thought about the film, and we'll open that up to the public. So yes, we're considering that, and all updates will be on social media. So if we do the public watch party event, where after you rent the film and watch on your own, you can come to the watch party and engage with us. So we'll post that on the Instagram and Facebook pages once we decide to go that route.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing, because I think feedback is important, and also comments too as well. I think with Betrayal of a Nation, and even on the website, to definitely put comments. We definitely want to. Who are some of the film? Would you mind repeating that question? I don't know what they meant by that. Who are some of the film?
Does he mean people who's involved with the film, or
the cast members?
James, can you clarify that question, please?
That's my father.
Oh, okay. Sir James.
That's Pastor Sims.
Oh, yes, Pastor.
So, no. Yes.
So he said yes, so I think that means who are some of the people involved with the film, I think.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and answer that.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, the cast, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so
can you deliver that right now? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no secret. So we have interviews from Miss Gwen Carr, the mother of Eric Garner, Samaria Rice, the mom of Tamir Rice. We have Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, the twin sister of Terrence Crutcher. We have Ajamu Baraka, who was the 2016 presidential candidate for vice president under Joe Stein. That's under the Green Party. Mm-hmm. And we have other people that you may not have heard about, but you will learn about when you watch this documentary, which is we have the great Professor Michael Obey from Clark Atlanta University, as well as some other historians. But as far as names that you recognize, I would say those are the ones. We also have Akeem Browder, the brother of Khalif Browder, in the documentary as well. And then we have the scripted portions. And so for our courtroom scenes, we have actors that are seasoned in their craft, but you may not know of them by name. But I'll go ahead and give them a shout out because they did a wonderful performance and they deserve to be shouted out. We have Jason Hewitt, who plays the defendant. He is on the side of the United States government. He is defending the defense attorney for the government. And he plays, I like to refer to him kind of as, I guess someone said to me, a Trump type of character, Donald Trump arrogant type. So we have him, and then we have on the prosecutor, the prosecutor for the people, we have Janice Perliso. Forgive me for jacking up her name, pronouncing it. But Janice is also an amazing actress, and she is fighting for the people in this documentary. It is the people versus the United States government. That is a trial. And we have the lovely judge. We have Miss Marsha Ann Hay, all the way from Jamaica to New York. And they all just did such a wonderful job. So, my hat goes off to the actors for the courtroom scenes, as well as those that gave really profound interviews that partook in this important yet timely project.
Well, thank you so much, because I just know that the Betrayal of a Nation is going to be such a success, because I know you have to start with pain to have success. And you hit the rocks and you hit the different stumbling blocks. So this is going to be a success. So it's going to strike conversation too as well. And I know we need this conversation in the households. Just knowing that, get on there and do the pre-orders. The information is in there. And also this will actually be in podcast form and be dropping in the podcast form. And you go to www.therise.live and actually see it February 14th on Valentine's Day at 12 noon. And I will actually send all the other information to Brandi Webb too. It will be on iHeartRadio. It will be on Apple Podcasts. It will be on many, many platforms. I am also international and global. So it will be going around and be seeing things. And they will actually get this information too as well. So people can have this information so they can tap into getting the pre-orders way before February 26th, so they can get in on this discount too as well. So thank you, Director Brandi Webb, co-producer Brandi Webb of Betrayal of a Nation and Indictment on America. And also tune in on tomorrow when they'll be talking about police brutality, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Brandi will be sending out that flyer too. So go ahead. Make sure you like, subscribe. I am Brandi Webb on Instagram, and that's on her Facebook too. So you can be getting those messages. But also go into Facebook group and like Betrayal of a Nation, and so they can let you in, and you can become part of that talk group too as well. So are there any other questions before we leave here? And I say my spiel. If you don't know that we send out motivational texts every Wednesday, you can text The Rise, that's all one word behind me, The Rise to 844-452-4110. That's 844-452-4110. And also, as we leave every situation, we tell you to tell a friend, tell a foe, tell your spouse, Heck, tell everyone. We'll see you on the next podcast, which will be the Property Warrior. We'll be interviewing her on Presidential Day, so it'll be a presidential happy hour with the Presidential Warrior. And also, we'll be doing an interview, which we talk about move on with the guys. We'll talk about moving forward with season 2. And we're moving on with a mental health advocate. And also, he's a clean cut, Clinton, Maryland. And he's Eric Clean Cut Dixon. And he's a barber stylist as well. So we want to keep moving forward towards the prize, and also having conversation each and every day. Once again, I am Judah Bernard, not only the Wisdom Dialoguer, but the Motivational Warrior of the Rise Creating Your Voice podcast. We're looking forward to you coming and joining us on all social platforms. Goodbye, link, and subscribe. All right? Bye.